I'm going to start you seated, please, with your hands behind you. Your fingers are wide out to the sides of the room, and I just want you to bend your knees so those feet are really wide. I'd like you to slowly roll your knees to the right hand side of the room. Just lift your breastbone up so you just come up to the tips of the fingers, and then we roll through center and take it to the other side, so get that real lift of a breastbone. Give me 4. You can talk in the class. And 3, you don't have to be dead quiet because we're recording it. Lift the breastbone up. Give me 2. So just feel one thigh bone spin inwards, the other out. Feel that rotation through the spine and the lift of the breastbone. So we're going to take it over again, but this time your left hand reaches round. It just comes chest height. Really reach, feel how the shoulder blade opens out, and then come through center. And we do that again. So your right arm reaches, it stays chest height. Reach all the way round, lifting your breastbone up. And then again, come through center. We're going to go for a couple more like this. So the knees just roll, the spine twists, you gaze up, get a bit more reach. One more time. So we're just getting as much movement through the body as possible. Just allowing ourselves to move quite fluidly. We're going to add to this one. We're going to take our hand down. So take your left hand down. I want you to round into your t-shirt. So you're doing almost a cat stretch here. Pull your belly button up and under your rib cage. Nod your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone. And then we're going to reverse it to like a cow in yoga. So you're extending the spine. Morning, Kelly. We're just recording this for YouTube as well. Round out. Do not be sorry. Round out. Press into the back of your t-shirt. And then lift your breastbone up between your arms. One more time. Let us inhale, press into the t-shirt. So feel that right shoulder blade really opening. And then exhale, we lift up. And then spin through center, and we're going to take it the other side. Okay, so it's just like a cat stretch in this mermaid position. So inhale, round the spine as much as you can. Really spin that tailbone under you. And then as you exhale through a soft mouth, the breastbone lifts up, nice and slowly. Inhale, round, tuck. Feel like you're trying to lift your tailbone up towards your nose. And then exhale, we come up. One more time for me, each direction, please. Inhale, round. And exhale, we lift. And then I just want you to spin your arms to center and just shuffle so your legs are in their mermaid position. So we're just going to line our knees and our hips and our collarbones up at the front of the mat. Take your left hand down and give me a mermaid. So you let your elbows soften, you let your shoulders soften. You don't look down, you look forwards and up slightly, and then we power up and take it over. So really pressing into the left hand side of your bottom. Give me 4. So it's all side bend. Feel the ribcage opening out. And you'll probably get even more from it as you come this direction. Press down the left-hand side of your bum. Give me 2, please. Lovely. Let that shoulder soften. Let your elbow bend down. And 1. And when you're ready, reach your arms in front of you. Okay, your right leg. Pick it up, reach it forwards. Think about everything staying quiet. Sweep the leg back, feel the hip opening, your bottom working, get the leg up. Leg up. And reach it forwards. Kelly, although we're filming, you can talk. Sweep it back. It's only because I don't get a chance to film them anymore. Go forwards and people keep asking for new videos. And sweep it back, lift your breastbone up. So again, we are getting our hip mobility. I'm definitely working into my waist. I'm working on stability of the upper body. Give me 1 more forwards, please. And 1 more time, sweep it back. And then bring the leg down. I just want you to pivot so your knees both over to the other direction. I've got a bit of a wrist issue on this side, so if you see me doing anything funny, just ignore me. Okay, so right hand down. When you come down, let that right elbow soften. I'm going to do my palm up just to protect my wrist. We go over, ear to your shoulder, and press up. And get that reach. Feel the ribcage open out. And give me 4, please. Speaker. Breathing as you move. There's no set breath pattern, but make sure we're not holding our breath. Get as much from the move as you possibly can. Give me 2. And one more time, please. Get as much reach as you can. Get that stretch. And then take your arms in front. Okay, so upper body, quiet. Lift the left leg up. Bring it forwards. So we're trying to keep it equal height the whole time. Sweep it back. Ooh. Isn't it harder one side than the other? Reach it forward. Ooh. Sweep it back. Okay, as your leg goes back next time, can you not let your upper body drift forwards? So stay lifted. Oh, my knee's coming down. Give me 2. And back for 1. Oh, and rest that leg down. Well done. What we're going to do is help ourselves up onto our knees at the back of our mat. So we've got a bit of a lunge sequence. If anyone feels things in the knees quite a lot, you might want to have a towel underneath your right knee. It's up to you, but I know some mats are quite thin. So I'm going to step my left foot forwards. Okay, so I would like you to stick your hands behind your head. I'm not pulling my head with my hands at any point. I want you to think about tucking your pelvis under you. So think naughty dog, tucking its tailbone between its legs. Hopefully you'll feel that stretching out the front of the right hip. And then keep tucking under, but flex your upper body forwards. And then we just reverse it. So again, it's a bit like that cow. We gaze up to the ceiling, let your tailbone just drift out behind, elbows wide. Tuck your pelvis under you. Just round forwards a little bit here. My elbows have dropped in. Really tuck your pelvis, and then we reverse. One more time, please. Tuck and round. Again, feel like you're pressing into the back of your t-shirt. And then we come on up, last time, so a bit of extension. And then just come up tall for me. Imagine my hand is on the back of your rib cage and press your ribs into my hand. Elbows wide, side bend over to that left leg. Ooh. And then glide up tall. Okay, just that direction, don't go the other way, otherwise you fall over. Well, I fall over. Side bend to the left leg, right elbow wide.
You don't want to affect the screen.
The PVC screens to keep you safe are the bane of my life. Last time, please. Take it over. I'm going to lift it up, my legs shaking all over the place. And take both arms down. So you're going to have your left arm inside of your left leg for a little bit of traction. So the arm presses into the leg. When you're ready, breathe in, lift your right arm up. Spin your rib cage, gaze up to your hand. And then exhale, we take it down. Twice more, please. Inhale fully as you spin and you gaze up. And then exhale down. We're doing everything really slowly today. Just listening to our body. Last one, so remember the left arm and the left leg press into each other, look up. And then take your hand down to the mat. So we're going to do the same with the left. Imagine my hand is pressing into the outside of your left leg so that left leg can't spill out to the side. Lift your left arm up. Rein that left leg in. And then just lower. The hand's just going to kiss the mat. And 2, please. Lift and twist. Where's your left knee going? Thank you. And come to center. I'm glad you knew I was talking to you. And one more time, please. Lift up, gaze up, spin your ribs. And then take your hand down. Okay, I'm going to go on a knuckle just because of my wrist. Tuck your right toes under, please. Bring your right knee off of the mat. Think about just keeping that right leg straight by pushing through the right heel and encourage your hips down towards the mat. And then we lift the hips up to release. So the back leg stays straight. We sink the hips down. And we lift the hips up. One more time, pressing down but not forcing anything. And then we shift the weight backwards so your left leg straightens as well. Just dropping your left eyebrow down towards your left knee. Really push your right heel down for me as well. Then the left knee just to release your stretch. And again, shift the weight backwards. So both legs are as straight as they can be. Doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. Just thinking about what's going on in your mat. Not in your mat, on your mat. Bend the left knee. This time you peel your left toes up. So you're pressing your left heel forwards. I've got a little fly driving me mad. Pushing your right heel down. And then bend both knees so your right knee comes down. So this might be when you like, come on up for me, you might want your towel underneath your right knee. I've got to focus. I'm going to hold on to my left leg just so I've got something to balance with. I'm going to pick up my right knee. Not pick up my right knee, that would be fun. Did I just see you falling over? Oh, heel towards the bottom. Stretching out through the quads on the right leg. Then if you wish, you take your arm forward. Can we lift the breastbone up? I can see wobbling in the reflection of my office window. Hold it. Slowly release. How hard is that? It's so hard. And step your left foot back. I've got my left leg behind me now, so anything could go wrong. Okay. So it is quite a lot on the knee though, so have your cushion or have your towel. Is it? You are so crampy though. Hands behind your head, please. Okay, remember there's no pressure there on the neck. Tuck your pelvis under you before you do anything else. Hopefully we feel this real stretch and this feeling of openness throughout the front of the left hip. And then I just flex forwards a bit. So again, I feel like I'm pressing the back of the ribs into my t-shirt. And then we take it to extension where we gaze up. Breastbone presses into your t-shirt. Did someone's knee just climb? Round out, tuck. And then gaze on up. It's much nicer recording these videos with people in the room because you feel like a real plonker when you're just talking to yourself. Round out, please. And one more time, gaze up. And then come somewhere in between. So again, pull the ribs in. Side bend over to your bent leg, to your right leg. And come on up. Oh, I'm so wobbly on this side. So you can feel those deep stabilizing muscles kicking in to keep you balanced. 2. Lift that top elbow up to the ceiling. And glide out. Take your time. Remember, everything is slow and deliberate. Last one, please. Side bend. And lift. It goes quiet when everyone's focusing. Take both arms inside of your right leg. So right little fingers in line with the arch of the foot, shoulder pressing into the inside of your thigh or your knee, depending if your arms are as long as mine. Left arm lifts. Breathing in, press the arm and the leg into each other. And breathing out, softly down. Twice more, so we're going to work a lot on rotation today. I want you to feel like you've been really stretched out by the end of the class. Come on down. Last time, please. Lift and twist. Take your left hand softly to the mat. Okay, again, rein in the right leg here. So you lift the right arm up, you twist the rib cage, but your right knee is staying towards the midline of your mat. Softly, you lower and release. Twice more, please. On the inhale, pull the knee in. Exhale, slowly down. So my gaze is kind of following my hand the entire time. Lift up, gaze up. And then take your hand outside of the foot. Okay, I'm just going to go on my knuckles again, but you keep your palms flat. Okay, left toes tuck under, straighten that left leg out. Before you do anything, just feel that push through the heel. And then sink the hips down. Now often this knee bends because we think we're in a hip stretch, but all we're doing is cheating it a little bit. Our body tries to avoid these things sometimes. And then lift. Push through the heel as you sink your hips down towards the mat. So I'm only on knuckles because of my wrist. You can have flat hands if you wish. And we come on up. Sink the hips down. Push through that left heel. And then straighten your right leg. Okay, let your head go heavy. Push that left heel down a little bit more. Imagine my hands on the back of your right knee. Feel like you're pressing into my hand. And then just bend the right knee to release. That left leg's going to stay straight the whole time. Push through the heel. Shift the weight backwards so your right toes stay down on this one. Can you get a bit more from it? Breathing into your stretch. Remembering when we breathe properly, not holding our breath, it's going to aid the stretch. Bend the right knee. Sink the hips down. And again, this time we come back strong hamstring stretch, but you peel your toes up to take it deeper. Well done. Breathing in deeply through your nose. On the exhale, can you sink a bit deeper into it? Can you push through that right heel and push that left heel down? And then bend to take your left knee down and bring yourself up. Okay. So I quite like to have my hand on my right thigh. I'm going to bend the left knee. I'm going to peel the heel up so it's up towards my bottom. So look at something on the wall that's not moving. Don't look at me because I'm wobbling everywhere. Let the arm bone spin backwards, lift your breastbone up. Find the balance, really focus. And then take your right arm forwards. Just hold it for a couple of breaths. Shoulders soft, breastbone lifted. Can the heel come closer to your bum? And release. Slowly down. Oh, well done. Okay, we're going to sit down again, facing me. It's really tricky. It's like some circus act class today. Bend your left knee so your foot can come to your thigh. Just let that left knee drop out to the side. I'm going to use my long leg for something to pull again. So I can't touch you at the moment. So by pulling on the leg, you're going to get the same feeling as if I were twisting you. Take your left hand behind your head, please. I want you to pull on your long leg to aid your twist as you inhale, twist round, look back at that elbow. And then exhale, we come up to center. Can you just press your head into your hand and feel how that lifts you a bit more? And then we inhale, twist. And then we exhale, come to center. So that's our rotation. One more like this, please. Twist. Can you get a bit more from it? And center. So we're going to rotate, then we're going to side bend. So we twist. Now, I just want you to bring the seam of your top, the right hand side of the top, down to your long leg. And I'm going to grab on my foot on my ankle, and then I'm just going to spin that top elbow up to the ceiling a bit more. And then I glide up, still facing to the left hand side of the room, and I come to center. So it's a real wringing out of the spine here. So we twist, look back at that elbow, fold the side of your t-shirt down to your long leg. So you're folding over. Can you grab the foot? Can you grab the ankle? Hold it a bit longer. Stay down low, but twist your t-shirt to face the left-hand side of the room. Release, glide up. And center. So hopefully we'll feel those lower back muscles really getting a good stretch. Twist. And fold. Hold it there. Spin your ribs a bit more. And then we're going to come up tall and back to me, and we're going to change sides. So we're just going to encourage that knee down. Remember, that leg is your aid. Right hand behind your head. Again, press the head into the hand to lift, elbow wide, and just twist towards the window. And then back to center. So straight away from me, I feel that's much tougher twisting this way. Breathe in, and that's fine. It makes sense if it's tougher one side than the other. And to center. So it's not a bad thing. We're just listening to our body. And we twist. Last one like this. Can you just pull on that long leg? Can you look back over that bent elbow? And center. It's suddenly warmed up in here, hasn't it? And we twist. And we fold. Can you grab the foot or the ankle? Your ribs are facing to the right hand side of the room, your elbows lifting up as you're folding over that long leg. And then we glide up and spin to center. Twice more, please. So go for that rotation. Add that side bend. Feel here how the right hand side of the rib cage is really opening. You fold over a bit more, but twist to the right hand side of the room a little bit more. And we come up. Stuck in the vertebra, and back to me. One more time, please. Lift up, twist, and fold. Give me a bit more spin. Breathing as you go, and glide up, still facing to the right, and to center. Well done. We are going, is it hot? Oh no, it's just, okay. It's nice that it's warm here. We're going to go on our tummy, for some swan work, some extension work. Again, if I end up coming onto my fists, just ignore me, that's just a wrist thing. So we're going to go for a more traditional style of swan dive. So our hands are under our shoulders, my elbows are facing up to the ceiling and they're tucked in towards me. Get your legs close together. Now first of all, I'm going to breathe in, look up, but my hands hover off of the mat. So I'm not using my hands. So actually, our spine, often we then fold back into the lower spine. I don't want that to happen. What we're going to do, if you just glance up, is my spine doesn't change shape after that. I'm actually just stretching out from the front of the hip. So some people really want to lift high, but they bend in that lower back too much. So let's try and avoid that. So come on down first of all. So the hands hover as you inhale, look up. Now after that, your spine doesn't change shape. You just press into your hands and you feel this stretch through the front of the body. My elbows brush my ribcage as I come down. So let us think. Lengthen the legs, keep them close together. I look up, my hands hover, lifting my breastbone up, and then I press into my hands and come up. My legs should still be closer together, and softly down. Okay, on the next one, we'll add a leg, but just when I say, so I look up, I'm not using my hands. You can keep them down, but I'm not using them. Come to your swan. So it's a real opener of the front of the body. Right leg lifts and lengthens as your upper body comes down. So you've got your hip release there. Inhale, upper body. Right leg down. Exhale, left leg. Everyone swan dive, especially online. I'm seeing huge differences from getting that hover, first of all. Left leg lowers. Draw that breastbone up between your arms. Right leg goes long, 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 long. One more time, please. Upper body. Exhale, the left leg lifts. And then take your left leg down. And when you're ready, press yourself into rest position, please. So Pilates rest position, knees together, eyebrows to your knees. Let's try and get the crown of the head actually touching the mat. Even if we don't get there, that's what we're aiming for. Now give your bum a really good wiggle side to side here for me. Just pressing from side to side. You might feel that stretch in those lower back muscles on the sides of the back. Give me a couple more, please. And come to center, walk your hands forwards and press into them. Now we're going to come to a cat-cow thing and then we're going to add thread the needle. So fingers wide, knees parted under your hips. I don't want to see the bum going backwards and forwards. So think about pelvis is going to stay over our knees. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, try and bring your tailbone and your nose close together. Feel like you're pressing the back of the ribs into the back of the t-shirt. And then we're going to reverse it. We come to your cow in yoga or your extension in Pilates. Let's just think this move, hold it there for a moment, does not come from arching the lower back. Think where your breastbone is. You want the drop to be in the back of the body above your breastbone. So don't sink into the lower back. Sorry, I've got to come to my knuckles again. Give me a cat where you round the spine up to the ceiling. Tuck your tailbone. So let's remember, when we go for this extension, it's not in the lower back. Let your tailbone curl up a bit. Ripple through your spine. Eventually you gaze up in front of you and you want the little bit of movement to be coming from your thoracic spine. Round up again. Breathing as you stretch. Can you tuck your tailbone under a bit more? And then reverse it. Don't go into that lower back for me. Imagine my fingers are just in between your shoulder blades. I'm giving you a little bit of a rub there to get that release. One more time, each direction, please. I'm going to breathe in as I go into my deep cat. Pull that belly button up, scoop it out. And exhale into your cow or your extension. And then come somewhere in between. Okay, we're going to thread the needle. I'd like you to take your left arm, thread it through under your right arm until your shoulder and your ear comes down to the mat. Let's really reach to the wall with the tips of the fingers. Feel that opening in between your shoulder blades. That's it, really what we're looking for. Shoulder stretch, rotation of the spine. Press into your right hand to lift you and twist you and open you. And we go through again. So we thread through, just keep breathing, let your breath flow. Sorry, I couldn't think how to talk. Reach your fingers more to the wall. Press into your right hand to open you out. Gaze up. One more time, thread through. Last time like this, and then we're going to add to it. Can you get more from this? Can you release into it? Your right shoulder, your right elbow is just soft. Until now, when you press into your right hand and open. The next one will add some extension, so thread for me. So you know what we're looking for here. We're really looking for those shoulder blades to open out. In fact, hold it here for a moment. So you're on your left arm, leave it there, lift your right arm up to the ceiling. And then take your right hand down to your starting position. Left arm opens out. Okay, right hand comes off of the floor as your left hand goes to your left heel. Right arm up over your head. Remember, we're pressing the breastbone up there to get into that mid-back. Press your hips forwards. Let's do that one more time. Take your right hand down. Take your left arm all the way through. Lift your right arm up to the ceiling so you've got a chest opener there. Take your right hand down. Left arm lifts and it opens. Right hand comes off the floor. Left hand, left heel, hips forward, boobs up. And let us do that on the other side. So find your strong starting position. Fingers are wide there. Right arm threads through. So just going to hold it here for a little bit longer. Can you try and get that arm just heavier? Relax that left shoulder. When you're ready, press into your left hand. Your bottom doesn't go back. You're just twisting from the waist as you open. Again, let your breath flow here. Thread through. Get as much from it as you can. It's all about this mindful movement today. Opening out. How often do we just stop and listen to our body for 55 minutes? Not very often, I would have thought. Reach through. So just enjoy this time for yourself. Can you get more from that shoulder? Okay, press into the left hand to open you out. That's the last one like this. Gaze up and thread through. Okay, relax into it. Left hand now lifts up. Look up to those fingertips. Take your left hand down to where it was. Press into it to unthread. I should be filming the whole class. You look awesome. It's like synchronized Pilates. Right arm through, as do you lot on screen as well. You're looking very lovely today. Release into it. Left arm lifts. Take the hand down. Press into it. The arm is strong now as you open out. Up and over. Right hand, right heel. Left arm goes over. Lift the breastbone up. And release down, so we're just going to be on our knees. In fact, I'm going to lay you on your left forearm, please. So you're going to be facing the wall. Have your heads at the top of the mat. If I get you all facing that way, if that's okay. So we're going to get more into the shoulders, into this middle back, but into our hip. So your left elbow is under your shoulder. Press the mat away from you to keep you strong. Take your right leg long. Right hand behind your head. I would like you to reach your leg behind you, but spin so you're facing down to that left arm now. Let your elbow drop in here. And then we reverse it. Your leg comes forwards. You gaze up to the ceiling, but I want your elbow to open wide. So again, we're getting into that thoracic spine. Leg behind. Elbow dropping. Ribs spinning. So we've got our rotation. We've got our hip opener. Let's go for 4 more, please. Spin the arm bend backwards, look back. Spin to face your mat. So we're just going to inhale, go one way. Exhale, reach the leg forwards, elbow back. And one more time, please. Give me a bit more from it. Reach that leg longer and lower down. And I'm just going to roll you over to face the other way, please. So just roll over so you're on your right arm. I'll spin myself so I'm facing the camera. Okay, so your bottom leg and your arm are the points of stability. Left leg as long as you can. Try and touch me with those toes. Hand behind your head. Leg goes behind. Elbow drops, you're looking down to your right forearm. And then when you're ready, leg forward. So take your time, explore the movement. How much can you get from it? Make it deliberate. Ribs down, elbow down, your leg is long. And we go for 4. So inhale one way. Exhale for 3. It's a long breath. And 2. Let elbow go wider. And one more time, please. And release down. And I'm just going to roll you onto your backs, please. And we're going to go for some shoulder bridges. So if your hair is tied up, just take your head down, otherwise you're going to have it's going to just change your neck alignment. If you have a towel, you could tuck it in between your knees so you've got something to grip on. Or if you're at home, you can take a cushion and bring it in between your knees. Press your arms down and walk your fingers to the front of the mat and reach them forwards. I just want you to let your back settle into your comfortable position, so you're not pressing it down, you're not arching it, just as it is, how it wants to be. Take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, tuck your tailbone, peel up your bottom, your lumbar spine, your mid-back, and then come up all the way to your shoulder bridge. So let's just press into those arms a bit more, all the way from the shoulders to the tips of the fingers. Gazing directly above you, you're not looking to your chest or your knees. When you are ready, you start melting your spine down for 4. Tailbone is still tucked. 3, 2, and 1. Then you release at the bottom. For me, I just breathe in at the bottom and I breathe out coming up, but you can play with the breath. We come on up. Don't let those hands claw. Use the entire hands, shoulders, arms, inside the wrists, fingertips. Hold your bridge at the top. Can you press your hips higher for me, but let your sternum soften down? And then melt your spine down. So we're going to add to the next one. We're going to allow a bit of twist, but we're going to be in control of this. So come up again. So just tuck your tailbone under. Keep your bottom rib lower than your hips. Gaze up to the ceiling. I want you now just to let the left-hand side of the bum drop down a little bit lower than the right. Your knees are fairly quiet. And then spin your hips so they're level. None jerky. Drop to the right a little. And center. Left-hand side drops a little. And center. Right side of the bum drops a little. And you come to center. Now come down about halfway down your spine, but pause, tuck your tailbone, press into your arms, drop the left hip for 4, and level off. Drop the right hip for 3, so you feel like you're just rotating the spine, and level. 2, level it out. Last one, please. Come to center, then come down a few more vertebrae. So it kind of towards the lower back, but then really tuck your pelvis under you a bit more. You should feel the legs are working now. Squeeze on your towel in between your knees. Drop the left hip and center. Use your arms more. Drop the right hip for 3 and center. Can you keep your ribs quieter? Let's go for 2. Center. Last one. Back to center and melt your spine down. Let's just draw your knees into your chest for a moment. Give your back a gentle rock side to side. And when you're doing that, so we're going to go into bridges again in a moment. So take your feet down. For the next bridge, what we're going to do, so that was a twist of the pelvis. This next one, you're going to imagine there's a skateboard on your bum and you glide your hips one way and glide them the other way. They're going to want to twist. You're not going to let that happen. So it's quite a small move. Let us set ourselves up for our bridge. So I haven't got a towel here, but I'd have a towel or a cushion in between my knees so I've got something to grip on. Press your arms down even more. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, come to your most beautiful bridge. At the top, just pause for me. Imagine there is a skateboard horizontally across your mat and your bum. Glide your hips left. That right hip's going to want to drop lower. Don't let that happen. come to center. In fact, just take your fingers onto your hip bones for a moment, those bony bits at the front. Sweep your right hip to the side and center. Left hip, for me, I find this so challenging. Come to center. I want to twist, so I've got to make it small. I go right. Oh, that's tricky. Center. Come down a little bit. Okay, about halfway down. Tuck your tailbone again. Press into your arms now, but imagine your fingers on the hips so you can feel it. Hips go left and center. Hips go right. Oh, I struggle with this. Come to center. And we go left and center. Is your bum staying the same height? Both sides. Go right. So it's like you're pressing your hip to the side of the room. Center. Come down. So it's pretty low. Tuck your tailbone. And we go right. And we go left. It probably hardly looks like I'm moving, but I'm really reining it in. 2 more. 1 more time. Center. Melt your spine down. Well done. Just draw your knees into your chest for me and give your back a gentle rock side to side whilst I look at my class notes. Okay, just have a little bit of a wiggle here. And then when you're ready, just take your tips of your toes down to the mat. Arms wider than your mat. We're going to go for some rotations. So the knuckles of the big toes are together. Your knees are together. Let your knees drop towards the left-hand side of the room. Look over your right shoulder. So your right shoulder has picked up. Your right shoulder's pressed down. The right-hand side of the pelvis is picked up. So you feel that twist in the lower back. And come back to center. Your left shoulder stays down as your knees go to the right. You gaze all the way over to that left shoulder. Now, I want you to feel like you're pressing your left kneecap forwards a bit more to keep the pelvis level. And center. Twice more, please. So you roll the knees left. You gaze to the right. Imagine my hand is under the right-hand side of your pelvis and I'm just pressing it forwards a little bit to give you that extra stretch. And back to center. 1 more time. Knees right. Gaze left. Again, imagine my hands on your pelvis, just pressing it forwards to help aid your rotation. And come to center. I want you please to lift your legs up if you're happy to. You can stay at that level, so we're loading the move now by hovering the legs. This time I'm going to really press into my hands. I'm going to look up to the ceiling the whole time. Let your legs go left. You're looking up, your right shoulder's heavy, the knees don't come all the way down. And squeeze your legs to bring you to center. Watch your legs aren't drifting to the front of the room, so you're staying close to your center. We go right and center. So again, the ribs are fairly quiet. This is coming from the waist downwards. Give me 2. Like this. And center. Remember, you could always take your feet back to the floor if you wish. Last one like this. Or you can stay at this level because we're going to add on to the next couple. So press your arms down more. Let's go left. Pause. Take your top leg, your right leg long. Your knees stay in alignment. Bend the knee. And back to center. So we go to the right. I've got a wall in the way. Reach your left leg long. Your thighs are still lined up. Your knees are lined up. Bend. Knuckle the big toes. Come back together. And slowly to center. Just 2 more. We go left. Your right leg extends. You fold the leg. And come back to center. Last time for me, please. Go to the right. Keep that left shoulder down. Extend your left leg long. Again, I've got a wall in the way, but maybe you can take yours a bit longer. And bend. Back to center. And draw your knees into your chest. Take your feet down. We're just going to open the hips. Press your arms down into the mat. Just a bit of a shoulder bridge, but we are going to not articulate the spine up. I just want you to take a deep breath in and exhale. Press the hips up. And then take the bottom down. 4 more. Press the hips up. Drop the rib cage in. And tap the bottom down to the mat. Give me 3. So press your hips into the front of your trousers and down, so it's a more of a hip opener this time. Give me 2, lift and tap, neck still long, Last one, lift up. And take your bottom down. Take your left leg long onto your mat, on the very center of your mat, please. And pick your right leg up, it's in the tabletop position. And just let your leg go over the body, a bit like a windscreen wiper. You've gone over the body, picking up from under the right-hand side of the pelvis. And come back to center. Now your leg goes out to the right, but this time your pelvis works hard to stabilize. It's not wobbling all over the place. And back to center. So the leg goes over the body, the pelvis rolls, but you are in control of it. That right shoulder's heavy. Center. So notice again, as it goes out to the side, you're working hard to stabilize your body. We're going to go into our single leg circle soon. Similar happens. Come to center. Take your hands behind your right thigh and just reach your leg up to the ceiling. Flex your foot for me. Just check that your left leg is not drifting out to the side of the room. Okay, soften the right foot and let the knee bend in a little bit. I don't want it dead straight and fighting it. I want you to find your straight. So for me, I've got to have a bit of a bend in the knee. Press your arms down. Start circling your leg over the body. So again, your pelvis lifts a little. You go down. As you circle your leg out to the side, your pelvis stabilizes. Give me 4. So get that rotation of the spine. Down and complete. And 3. Still thinking about your left leg staying in line with the center of your mat. 2 more, please. Every time you complete this circle, can I have your thigh coming a bit closer to your navel? So again, we're working into our center. And then pause. Change direction, go out. Level pelvis. Go over, let it move. And 4. Gazing directly up to the ceiling above you. I'm sure no one is doing Pilates outside in their garden today because it's peeing down. 2. It's like biblical rain, isn't it? Final one, please. Oh, there's a wall there. And then just pull that knee into your chest to release. And then take the right leg long. So the right leg now, it's on the center of your mat. Your leg should be lined up. I don't want any of this drifting out to the side. When you're ready, just pull your left knee in. Pull it into your chest. So watch that right big toe isn't drifting to the side of the room. And then bring the leg up to a tabletop position. Put the knees a bit closer to you, arms down. Tick-tock the leg over the body. Again, feel like my hand's under the left-hand side of the bottom, lifting you up a bit. And center. And take the leg out. Just watch your ankles not rolling out more than your knee. And center. But that leg is not drifting away towards the front of the room. Give me 2. So we're just tick-tocking side to side for now. And center. Last one, out to the left-hand side of the room. Just watch the ankles not dropping out. And center. Tick your hands behind the left leg and kick it up to the ceiling and flex strongly through the foot. Just trying to open the back of this leg. We don't want to be shaking. If you're shaking, just rein it in a little bit. And then I soften my foot. I'm relaxing my toes. I bend the knee in a little bit, so my thigh comes close to me. I press my arms down. Don't overpoint the toes. Circle your leg over the body. Down, stabilize as you come up on the left. Give me 4. Don't point those toes. And 3. If we overpoint, we start gripping on. Is your right big toe still facing up to the ceiling? Last one, please. Also, just check that the bend in the knee isn't changing. It doesn't bend and straighten. Keep that softness to it. Unless you've got super stretchy hamstrings, I want this focus, keep going, to be the thigh bone spinning around in the hip socket. Give me 3, please. And 2, get that thigh bone closer to you each time. Your neck is long. Last one, please. Oh, and hug the left knee in. Draw the right knee in, and again, just rock your back from side to side, pulling those thighs in close. And come to center. Okay, we're just going to take one hand on top of each knee and start circling the legs away from each other. And we're not just going to do this willy-nilly. We're going to get as much from the move as we can. So just into your frog leg, hip release. Give me 3. And 2, as your legs come in, can the pelvis just hover a little bit? And 1. Change direction, so 6 big and deliberate circles. Breathing as you go. Give me 2 more, please. Can the pelvis hover a little bit more? Last one. And pull those knees in tight. Bring your eyebrows up to your knees, and we're going to rock halfway up for 3. Roll back. Rock halfway up for 2. Roll back. And all the way up for 1, and we're going to go for our spine stretch. So you're going to have your feet about mat distance apart, please. Okay, your feet are flexed, your big toes don't drift out to the side of the room. Arms in front of you. I just want you to imagine that you have got a wall behind the back of the head, back of the ribs, and the back of the pelvis. Take a deep breath in, arms reaching. Imagine there's a beach ball in front of you. You exhale, peel your head off of the wall, the shoulders, the mid-back. You're trying to keep the scoop of the belly. Okay, so pull that belly button up and under your rib cage. Give me 3 presses and release. Give me 2 and release. Give me 1, and then you stack each vertebra individually, one upon the other, until you're sat tall again. Lovely. You could always sit on a cushion here if that helps you sit a bit taller. Coming down again, so articulating off of the wall. Keep that scoop of the belly. You're trying to get the crown of the head down towards the mat, but the belly scooped. Go for 3 and 2 and 1. Stack the spine up. 1 more time, please. Peel off of that imaginary wall. Trying to get the crown of the head further down, pushing through your heels. Little presses here, not bouncing, deliberate presses. And stack the spine up. And bring your arms down. So you're on your forearms, and we're going to lift our legs up. We're going to get a bit more twist. So again, knees, knuckles, the big toes lined up. Upper body quiet. Let your legs go towards the left. So your ribs are staying pretty still. Come to center. I really think again about the knees being lined up. So again, the pick up is from under the pelvis and center. Give me 1 more each direction, then we're going to turn this into a hip circle. And 1 more time. So your knees aren't drifting away from you. And center. Can you get those thighs closer to your belly? And then we go to the left, and then we go down, up on the right hand side, come to center. And we go for 3. We go right, down. Strong to center, thighs closer to you. And 2, pressing your forearms away from the mat. 1 more time, please. Big hip circles. And take your feet to the floor. And we are going to lay down. Okay, arms wider than your mat, palms facing out to the ceiling. Take your right ankle onto your left thigh. So what we're trying to do is allow that right knee to go away from us. And then you're going to roll both knees towards the left-hand side of the room. So your right foot comes down to the mat, and you look over your left shoulder. I don't want your right knee dropping towards you. I want you, it's pressing itself away. Breathe into your stretch. And then your legs come to center. And then your legs go to the right. You look over your left shoulder. And I'm using my right ankle to pull down on the left thigh. So I'm using it to help, again, stretch those lower back muscles, and stretch into my hip muscles. My palms are still facing up. There's no tension in my shoulders. And then come to center. I'm just going to shift it so it's more my foot on my thigh, just because I find that more comfortable. And then I take both hands through my left leg, interlink, ready for my figure 4 stretch. You could have your head down if your arms are long enough. So it's about the knees coming in towards you, but that right knee is pressing away from you. Breathing in deeply and fully through your nose. And exhale. And release both feet to the floor. So before we change sides, give your bum a wiggle, just let everything realign and settle. And then it's going to be our left ankle on our right thigh. Palms up to the ceiling again. Your legs roll right as your chin goes to the left. Can you find the floor with your left foot? Can you get the whole foot on the floor? Can you now press your left knee away from you? You look deeper over to the left-hand side of the room. And center. And your legs go left. And your chin goes right. You pull down on that right thigh with your left ankle. For me, again, I feel I'm much tighter on this right-hand side. I feel it in my bum, I feel it in my lower back. But in a good way, it's a really lovely stretch. And then strong to center, knees and chin. I wiggle my foot so it's more on the thigh. I take my hands behind that right leg now, so we've come into center now to our figure 4 stretch. Okay. Let the breath slow down again. Let the breath aid your stretch. Breathing in and breathing out. Again, breathe in deeply through your nose and exhale completely through your mouth. And when you're ready, just hug both knees into your chest, untangle your legs and give your back a rock from side to side. Just massaging out the back of the pelvis. And fall to center. And again, eyebrows come up towards your knees. And we rock halfway for 3. And roll back. Halfway for 2. Roll back. And 1. And you are done. Thank you, thank you, thank you.